Mm. Hey, Chakra, how you doing? Miss Wit, how you doing? Thank y'all for coming in. Y'all give me just a moment. I'm still arranging myself. Y'all know I have to have my notes, and I found my glasses today, so I might be able to see something, huh? All right. Well, all right, all right, all right. Peace and blessings to everybody coming in. For those in the bushes, for those who are in the chat room, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for showing up. Today we're going to be talking about hate and anger. All right. There are several things that some people know and some people don't know about hate and anger and the root of it. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. I love my life. How you doing? All right, here we go. Hate and anger. Most people don't know that hate and anger stems from fear. Hate and anger are two symptoms of fear. Okay? So let me get my notes. Y'all forgive me. Y'all know the routine. If y'all see me looking down, I'm looking at my notes. All right. So what we're going to start out is figuring out exactly what fear is. Okay. Basically, fear is a survival instinct. Anger is a byproduct of fear, and so is hate. All right. The anatomy of fear. That's what we're going to go over right now so we can kind of understand how we're getting into this. The anatomy of fear. It starts in your thalamus gland, is when your thalamus kicks in, and your thalamus decides where to send the sensory info that you're experiencing at that particular time. All right. Now, once it sends that info, it sends it to your sensory cortex, which interprets the info that is sent by your thalamus. It then goes on to your hippocampus, which is where your conscious memories are stored and retrieved. It basically establishes the context of fear, basically identifying what that fear is. What you say? Dang it, and no, I got snatched out of my body in the bushes by being nosy. Left my own. Hey, Navi, how you doing? So, as I said, the hippocampus is where your conscious memories are stored and retrieved. It basically establishes the context of fear. It basically identifies what the fear is. Okay. So, when you get to that point, it then has to be encoded. That happens by your amygdala. Now, y'all forgive me on these pronunciations. Y'all know I got a southern tongue and it's lazy. Okay. Your amygdala. It basically codes your emotions and it stores the fear imprints, like why you're afraid of whatever is going on around you. Okay. Now, when we think about when it gets to that point, it starts to process through your hypothalamus, which is the primitive part of your mind, which really judges your fight or flight response. Okay. It's often called the snake mind. It's the final stage. Now, at this stage, this is where your fear um, changes over to either anger or hate. Okay. Now, this is why I'm going over this today, so people can understand when people claim to hate you or do hateful things towards you or have anger that seems out of place, doesn't make sense. Why are you mad? Why are you hating? All of that kind of stuff like that. It's coming from a base of fear. It's something about you that they fear. And it's really silly to think that some people can fear your success. They fear your presence. They fear your strength. Because I don't care how weak or insignificant you feel, that basic strength comes from within. and it shows. People see things about you that you don't even tend to recognize about yourself. Now, that's something that I've experienced within myself. People see things about me, and I'm like, really? Where? You know, people have that. They see things about you. What's in you is going to show on the outside. Regardless, it's going to show one way or another. I don't care how you try to mask it, it's going to show. Okay? So people can see certain qualities about you and certain things about you that they fear. And fear sometimes is very irrational. Sometimes people have very irrational fears. Sometimes that fear comes because they see something in you that they don't have in themselves, and they fear that they will never be able to achieve that or get to that point. Okay? So understand that when you have somebody come at you with hate or anger, understand that the root cause of that is fear, because hate and anger are only symptoms of fear. Okay? Let's break this down a little bit further. There are two paths of fear. There's a high and a low path. They both work at the same time, believe it or not. The high path, which is the analyzation path, is a stop. It's where the info hits the sensory cortex. Now, we talked about the sensory cortex. That's what interprets the information that is sent by the thalamus gland, right? Okay. Then there's the low path that goes straight to the hippocampus and straight out of the egg medulla. Okay. Now, the question is, what we need to know is what happens in the body when fear sets in. Okay. What basically happens in your body when fear sets in is that your hormones are released. Adrenaline, adrenaline secretes in situations of stress, increases breathing, your heart rate, and prepares the muscles for exertion. Your digestive system cuts off. Your blood is sent only to necessary operating organs. Your blood flow does not increase, which basically means that when you get in a point of fear and all of these hormones are released because of the situation that you're in, the body sends your blood to only the places where it is exactly needed. It's not fully even flowing through your body. Okay? That's why you start getting that tingly feeling or that lightheaded feeling somewhat. Is because it's putting the blood in only places where it needs it. Okay? Your fear is imprinted on your DNA, and it can be passed down. It is learned and inherited down through generations. Now, that particular thing is that's true with many things. Okay, there are certain conditions or mental conditions that people suffer from that is imprinted on your DNA. Many people don't understand something that happened to your ancestors way back in the day can be imprinted on your DNA. Say, for instance, somebody got bit by a snake and got really sick. They came out of it, but they now have a fear of snakes. That is imprinted on your DNA. Traumas are imprinted on your DNA, and it is passed down through your line. And you are afraid with some things. You're afraid of some things that you don't even know why you're afraid of this particular thing. You can't find a logical reason why you're afraid of it. It's imprinted on your DNA. It was passed down. Somebody way back when got traumatized. It could have been they touched a poisonous plant, or they drank something bad, or somebody did something to them and now they have a fear of it. That's imprinted. That's why I tell people, be careful what you do in your life. Be careful of the things that you get yourself into in situations, because that's now imprinted on you. And whether you mean to pass that down to your offspring and your progeny, that's a done deal, because it traumatized you that much. Okay? That's why we have to be careful, especially when we're carrying a child in our womb. Our child feels what we feel. If we've been abused, misused, all of that, our child feels it. We pass that down, and they'll pass it down to their children, and so on and so forth. Okay? Let's get back into this. There is a hormone called noradrenaline. Noradrenaline is also released during fear. It is a neurotransmitter. Low neuroadrenaline plays a role in depression, ADHD, low blood pressure, and it is released during stress or perceived stress triggers your glucose to be released into your bloodstream. Okay? Your attention narrows, and what has your fear is the only thing that can be perceived during that time. Okay? You have another one called a tonic, which makes you well. There's a state that you go into when this noradrenaline is. It's called atonic. It makes you limp. That's why some people get so afraid that they pass out. That's an atonic reaction. The next one is reflection. Reflection is what makes you jump. You've come across that fear before. It's in you, and when it happens again, you jump. That's a part of fear. That is a reaction that you have. Okay? Now, when your brain is flooded with too many hormones, you go catatonic. Catatonic is when you black out. You have all of these hormones flowing all at one time, and they hit you like a Mack truck, and boom, lights out. Okay? Now, some of the hormones that are released that will make you black out is cortisol, oxytocin, adrenaline, noradrenaline. You got all of that, and you overload when your brain floods with all of these at once. That's what makes you black out. Okay? Now, can you imagine getting into that situation and all of this is happening? That's when you get that lightheaded feeling you can't even think straight. Your body is flooded with, your brain is flooded with all of these particular hormones at once. Okay? You can't think straight. You can't figure out whether to run or stay or fight. You can't think of none of that. Okay? It often happens with people with a weak constitution, children, and the elderly. Okay? Especially with the elderly and children, because they're at a weakened point. Children and elderly are often somewhat at the same level, because when you're elderly, you're not as strong as you were when you were young. Sometimes they don't think that they can protect themselves, and some of them are not in a physical state to protect themselves. Children, they're smaller than other people, and they're looking at adults as an authority figure. So they're doing this to me. I'm afraid. I don't know what I could do to protect myself. We often tell them to respect your elders. So they're not thinking of, I gotta do something to this person. That's why it's really important that we teach our children how to protect themselves and in which situations they need to protect themselves. We need to teach them also how to overcome their fears. Okay? So they don't freeze up. So their mind automatically goes into, I need to protect myself. Or I need to find a way to get out of here. And I'm not so afraid of what you're telling me that I can't do what I know is right to go. Okay? That's another part of them defeating their fear. Them running away is not a fear. That's survival. Okay? Now, we discuss the high road. This is a way to overcome the symptoms of fear. You need to, it's like that big inhale. You know, when you're afraid of something, you have that's that fear, that catch up. After that big inhale, every single breath that you take after that is a shallow breath. So your body's not even getting adequate oxygen at the time that all these hormones are raging. That's a bad mix. When I say breathing becomes shallow, that's like panting. And it overrides from your hypothalamus to your hippocampus. Instead of deep breaths to shallow, what you need to do is take several deep breaths. What this does is allows your body to go into an analytic mode. It keeps your heart rate steady, and your breathing can override that fear process that you're going through. You take those deep breaths to get enough oxygen, calm your body down. It lets those hormones disperse somewhat so you can think clearly. That's very important. I mean, let's just think about it. You got all these hormones going and you're panting, you're not getting enough oxygen. Hell, you're going to fall out anyway because you can't breathe. Okay? Now, there are a few steps that you can do to override your fear. You can stop. The first thing you do is you need to stop. Take those deep breaths. Then you need to think. This is where you become logical and rational, and you can make your plan, okay, of what you need to do in that. And then you continue breathing because that's going to continue to let you think logically and rationally. Give your body the oxygen that it needs at that point. Okay? This takes you to the high road. Okay? What you need to do is learn to reprogram your fear so you don't experience it, at least not on that level. You need to reprogram your fear. The steps in reprogramming your fear, the first step is to name it and then reject it. Now, that's something that I was taught once before when I was younger. And I wasn't listening because I was young. I thought I knew everything. But these were some wise words that were handed to me by the old heads. Look your fear in the face. Never run from it. Turn around and face it. Give it a name. And then get rid of it. Because your fear turns into something different if you can put a name to it. It's always scarier when you don't have a name for it, when you can't identify what it is. Give it a name, then reject it. Okay? Then you need to think differently about what that fear is. Once you name it, even before you can actually after you reject it, then you start thinking differently about it, because once you face your fear, something that seemed gigantic, you'll figure out that it's about that big. Okay? You have to face your fears. The more you run from it, the bigger it gets, the stronger it gets. Turn around and face it. Okay? Think differently about it. And once you've thought differently about it, given it a name, then you need to take action. In other words, do something about it. Do something to change it. Do something to annihilate it. That's how you reprogram yourself when it comes to fear. The last thing you need to remember when it comes to fear, breathe. Now, you've heard me say breathe all the way through all of this. You need to breathe. Deep breaths. Okay? Not just from here, deep. Lungs, feel your lungs. Drop your shoulders, relax, sit up straight, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay? That brings enough oxygen in and pushes it all out. This helps clear the mind. This helps you think it out to see if your fear is actually something that you need to run from or something you can fight. It's rational thinking. So I wanted to go into this and give y'all some background on what it actually is. Because I run into a lot of things in real life, and I run into the same things here on these YouTube streets. And I hate the way they take names and they change it. Oh, I got a hater. They use these catchphrases to death. And I sit here and I wonder, do you really know what hate is? Are they really hating on you? Or are you actually hating on yourself? That's something you really need to think about. But this breaks down all these people that come against you and say you shouldn't have what you have because they jealous. What it really is they have a jealousy for you. This breaks it down so you know where it comes from. They fear your strength. They fear your power. They fear your pull. And instead of just admitting that you intimidate them, oh, you ain't about shit. I'll break you down. I'll talk about you so damn bad that nobody will want to come to you. Not realizing that the more you talk about me, the more you put me out there and say all these things about me, if I'm doing what I am supposed to do and I am handling my business in a just, moral, and fair way, all you doing is hyping me up, baby. You shining my star. Because when those people start to look at me, they're going to turn around and look back at you. Like, I don't see what you're talking about. All I see is this, and that. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. Then you making yourself look like a damn fool. You hyping me. But I'll be the last one to tell you to stop hating on me. Lift me up, baby, because I need 3 more like you. You got a brother, sister, uncle, something, because we can put them all on that imaginary payroll because we all know you working for free. You'll be the best employee that I never had. And I encourage that. I approve that message. Okay? So understand when they come after you on here, their hate and their anger stems from fear. They fear you. They fear the very thought of you. So don't get mad. It's natural to get upset when people call you names. But you have to remember, it's not what you call me, baby. It's what I answer to. And I'll be damned if I answer to anything out of who I am. You can call me a bitch. You can call me a hoe. You can call me a witch, a blitch, whatever the fuck you feel like you want to call me today. My name is Indigo. Now I'm using myself as an example, but the same thing goes for you. And that's why I love my sisterhood on here. I have aligned myself with strong, sensitive women, intelligent women, innovative women who are changing the world around them. They encourage me. If they never say a word to me, they inspire me just by being who the hell they are. Okay? I get my strength from looking at what they do. I watch the path that they tread, knowing that my path is totally different. But it gives me my strength to do what I'm doing. And I'm encouraging all the other content creators out there who are trying to make something, who are trying to be something. Take your strength from that. But while you're doing it, understand where the hate and the anger comes from. Take pride in the knowledge and comfort in the knowledge that they fear you. Fuck your hate. Fuck your anger. You fear me. And well, you should. Okay? Just want y'all to know that. So you don't get hype. Ain't no sense in going back and forth. Why would you argue with an idiot? Because that's what they are. They so busy hating on you that they can't even realize what strengths they may or may not have. They're putting their attention in the wrong place. And far be it from me for you to take your attention off of me, because I think I deserve all of it. And so should you. All right. So now that I've finished that and I've given y'all a little piece of information, and I hope that has helped someone, I hope that message reached whoever it needed to reach. I didn't put this as a direct arrow at anyone, but I wanted it to reach whoever it needed to reach. And I wanted to say hi to the people that popped in the room while I was talking, because y'all know I try not to look at the chat because I get distracted. T Tribes, thank you for dropping through. Shree Bad, my sis, what's up? DL, what's up? Navi, I spoke to you earlier. I believe I saw Master Fundi Fee drop in. Welcome, sister. Thank you for blessing my channel with your presence. California Love, what's up? What's up? Let's see here. What y'all talking about in this chat? Coffee Case. Hey, sis. How you doing? What y'all talking about in here? You say your brother is so hateful towards you? Probably because your brother sees something in you